last year I made about 3 crores with content. And the reason I'm talking about numbers is because no one talks about it. I did not go to IIT, and now I'm adding to the financial burden of my parents. Did not say it to them, but I just knew it inside myself. वो कभी खुद से feeling आ जाती है आपको, right? And so that is what was there with me. So I was like, what can I do to become independent in my first semester of college itself? And I wanted to stand out from everyone. I used to think that if I will have that IIT tag, I will stand out. But now that I don't have that, I need to find something else. How can I stand out so that I don't have to introduce myself from the college that I am from? And that was the whole premise of my first semester. So I started my journey by learning different skills. I started with Python. Even before I went to college, I learned about basic Python, OOP concepts and all. I used to build simple programming projects. But once I got into college, I learned about AI, machine learning, built multiple projects over there. Then I realized it's getting too research oriented and I don't want to get into that right now. I want to explore. So I started consuming content of this guy called GaryVee. How many of you have consumed his videos? Very few. Expected more. So I owe everything that I've done to him. Like he motivated me. Yeah. So I started watching his videos and he talked about how can you make a living doing what you love by creating content around that. And so that is when I downloaded Instagram for the first time in my life. And December 2019, I became active on Instagram. I was not on any social media platform before then. And I started talking about what I like. So I would just share workshops I'm attending or anything new that I'm learning. And that's how it started. So I first learned about programming, then machine learning. Then I went into social media marketing, about SEO, about video marketing and all. So once I learned about all of that, I started executing all of that, right? So I used to handle Instagram accounts of all the clubs I was a part of and societies. And I used to design everything myself. So I would literally be awake by 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning in my hostel, just creating posts on Canva for these societies. I was getting paid zero and I didn't even realize how time was passing. I was just in a state of flow. I just loved designing Canva, posts on Canva for the clubs and societies. I dropped out when I was 21. I was in third year of college. I could have just spent one more year and graduated with a degree. But I realized something very important with my journey, right? So for the past 2 years, from 2020 to 2022, I was focusing on my YouTube. I made a promise to myself that every 2 days I'll publish one video. And I stayed true to that. There were over 500, 600 videos at that time on the channel. And I was just loving that rhythm, that routine that I was on. Now, when the pandemic got over, they called us back in college. So March is when they called us back in 2022. I went back. I had all of my camera gear with me. I was like, I'll record videos in the hostel. I'll be consistent. And what I realized was, by that time, I also had my agency called as Market Up, in which we help companies with social media. So I was running that and my YouTube channel, which was going fine if I was doing that full time.
Define fine. What was the status like of your YouTube channel back then?
I think I was at 300K followers.
Oh, wow, you already got 300K
Yeah. When I dropped out, I was at 300K. And Market Up was going strong as well. We were, I think, at about 60 to 70 L ARR. Now what happened was that when I came to college, I realized that...
I want to reiterate that. You said with Market Up, you were making 60
to 70 L ARR.
To 70 L ARR already.
Yeah.
With Market Up.
Yeah.
While you were in your third year in college.
Yes.
And what was the package that you were expecting?
Now, the package I was expecting in my electrical engineering was about 10 to 15 at max. Or if I studied really hard, I can get into a CS job, which would be 25L in my college. But again, Market Up was just not my main focus, right? That was the focus of my co-founder who was doing it full time. For me, it was a way for me to use the trust I've built and divert people who have businesses, who want to grow their businesses, and I can help them with my own learnings of YouTube on their social media front through Market Up. While my main focus was still on my YouTube. But when I got into college, I realized this thing that I had outgrown every single person around me. the reason I'm saying this is because the normal conversations day to day that you will see people having at recess में या फिर खाना खाते हुए या फिर cafe में is like वो प्रोफेसर ने ये पनिशमेंट दे दी, ये नंबर काट लिए, इंटर्नशिप कैसे मिलेगी, एंड देर लाइक ये क्वेश्चन बहुत डिफिकल्ट था, इसमें मेरे 5 मार्क चले गए, अब मैं क्या करूँ, वो बंदी ने मुझे रिजेक्ट कर दिया एंड ऑल. सो इट वाज ऑल ऑफ दोज talks. On the other hand,
But you were not bothered with Bandi rejecting you.
no? I was, but the other things I was not. So what happened then was, so I was thinking about something completely different. I was thinking about what can I make better on my YouTube. मैं अच्छा thumbnail कैसे बनाऊँ, मैं अच्छी video editing कैसे करूँ, मैं अच्छे लोगों को hire कैसे करूँ, how do I get more clients, how do I learn more about building a business. I was thinking of completely different things than what everyone else around me was thinking about. And if you have you visited BITS Goa?
No, not yet.
So it's a campus which is right next to the Goa airport. And when I say right next to, it's like 5 minutes of car. And Goa is a military defense airport.
Yeah.
So you'll always be having jets and helicopters passing by every 5-10 minutes. And because of that, you'll never be able to record a video sitting in your hostel. So it was really hard for me to sit in my hostel. Number one, it was a very dilapidated room. I could just not sit and record good videos. Number two, there were jets on my head just flying every 5 minutes.
30 लाख रुपए किस बात के लिए दे फिर?
I think it is worth it if you know how to use it. So for example, the first few clients we got were all Bitsian clients. And that happened because I just made a LinkedIn post and I got like 5 messages from people who were running startups who were also Bitsians, and they were like, we want to work with you. And that's how we got started. I have a friend of mine and she works in a private equity firm, and she has a very typical, long hours. She's just working. I would just, call her in the middle of the day and she would not pick up my call, and then she'd be like, yaar, मैं भी काम कर रही थी, तूने phone कैसे लगा दिया? मैं like, oh, I'm sorry, मेरे को लगा कि मैं लगा सकता हूँ phone. Because I'm free, right?
Yeah.
I don't have a particular schedule. I might be recording a video at midnight or at early morning or at whatever time of the day. But I just thought that that's not for me. Like that routine of going to the office, being there for long hours, is not something that I would want to do right now. That can change later on, but not something for me, right? So I recently rented a house near the airport with my co-founder. So now we are running the agency over there. Plus I'm doing my YouTube, so I built a studio over there. So I just wake up, I start my day, hit the gym, come back, and start with recording videos, talking to brands, closing deals, and hiring people, and that just goes on for the whole day.
And what is Ishan, the 22-year-old Ishan, is making with all of this?
So what happened with YouTube is there was a slowdown. In 2022 and 2023, obviously, you all know, right? The funding winter is here and all. So brands are paying less. So there was no increment in the brand deals or in the YouTube ad rates that was there. So 2022 and 2023, I made the exact same amount.
Which is?
There's a video on my channel which you can watch and learn about that. But Marketup is doing very good, and I'm really proud about that.
Can we give a range to them as to what people can look up to? Now, why I'm saying this is because you've given up your course that was costing you 30 lakh, which is an opportunity cost in itself because you saved up those 2 years. I mean, from hindsight, I'm saying.
Yeah, I just signed a deal with my college itself for promoting their course for the last 1.5 years. So I just got back all of my money that I invested. So it's very interesting that way.
Right. So we're not talking about figures, but that's okay. But as a creator, what gave you the most high? So, the creators, they thrive on the kind of success that they get. Every morning that you wake up to notifications, and probably it's very satisfying to see at some point that you're getting recognized.
I get no notifications. Turned them off completely.
When did you decide to do that?
I think it was, I don't even remember. I think it's been like 1.5-2 years. Pehle, when I was just starting, I used to get emails, new comment on this video, new subscriber, and I would just press everyone and look at what are they saying and kisne subscribe kiya and all that. So that was interesting. But now I am at a point at which I need to get up and focus on what people are saying in the comments, do like a analysis of what is the sentiment over there, and then try to make videos that they are asking for. So that's what I do. I don't look at particular comments and like subscribers and all. But yeah, like you were asking, right? How much can people really make? So last year I made about 3 crores with the content, and the reason I'm talking about numbers is because no one talks about it, and they don't talk about it because India is a very weird country in terms of when we talk about money, right? No one wants to talk about money, and I just find it weird because I was able to do all of this because of people, right? It was not me just being in myself doing some black magic. It was me making videos. It was people watching videos, people getting value from that, and hence me making a living doing that. So that's what I made. Now it can vary largely depending on what you're doing, right? I don't have a course. I don't sell a course to anyone. I don't have anything to sell other than my 2 books, which are on Amazon. But
Do you plan to sell a course though?
I don't. I think that it's an incremental upgrade, right? Like, so when you have these checks coming in, right? Every month, if you're a software engineer, let's just say in Bangalore, you're getting like 1.5 L every month, you get used to that level, right? So similarly, as a creator, I'm getting a certain check, right? Multiple checks are coming in. So I'm now used to that number. If I make a course, that 3 CR can maybe become 10 or 15 CR. But the problem is, nothing really changes in my lifestyle with that difference. So my mind is always thinking about how can I go from 3 to 50 or 100, and that will not happen with a course. Like, what is the most successful course that you know about? Anyone? The course that has done the most numbers? Variku, right? Variku did what? 70 crores?
I don't know.
Yeah, he made a post about that. 70 crores he did by ads, right? That is his revenue. Now you break it down, you get to profit, and it's not that much, right? It's like barely 20, 25 CR, which is great for him. I am looking for how
I think
can
he
I
must have spent 20 crore in ads only. I've
exactly
seen him everywhere.
exactly. So that's how it is. But I wanted to do something else. I just realized that knowledge should be free. What people will value is access to opportunities. That's what I want to get into, and I want to make like a proper tech product and approach it through that sense. So I'm working on that, going through various ideas. 2024 is going to be a year where I launch a lot of different things. So excited about that.